So thank you so much for meeting with me, Joe. So this is for a freelance journalism article that I'm writing for Manga Bay about how the Kokopah tribe is working to protect the river, and uh, and how that translates into protecting their culture. And I just learned so much from the interview with you, especially about how much the river has provided for the Kokopah people and how much it's become part of their culture.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was really fascinating some of the examples that you listed of what the rivers provided members of the tribe historically, like cradles, musical instruments, houses, and those have all become part of the culture. So, do you personally feel like a really strong connection with the river being a member of the Kokopah tribe?
Well, for me personally, it would be I would say that it's because of the river that we're all here today. We exist as a tribe, and even upon years and years, we relied on the river to sustain us because without the river, then we wouldn't really be here. And the river provides everything that we need to for food and housing and those are the things that are important in life. If you were in the region, then you'll understand because you have been here when there was no other outside contact. You will see that the river brought in everything for us and provided new trees and plants and fish, and they brought in the wild game and water for us and for farming. So it has been for me seeing that how it had sustained our people for generations and generations that and we still remain here even though we didn't know anything else other than the river and its provision. I'm very honored and proud to say that our people have utilized something, and we can't say really tamed it, but we used its power for our advantage and what it supplied for us.
And that goes back to something that you said during the interview that this region, it's the Sonoran Desert region, and uh, the river just really helped to provide life for the tribe, like agriculture and so much more.
Yes, it's uh well, you've heard the term before, water is life, and having water is what brings this area to life. You can look at a desert and there's just northwest of here we have sand dunes, and that's just sand, nothing else, just sand. And but over here we have, we're at a different altitude, so we have certain types of plants and trees out here, and they grow at this altitude, and because we're down in a valley, and of course the water takes the shortest path, and the river takes the shortest path. But with understanding that how the water is how it flows and where it goes, that having that as the source of everything that animals needed, plants need, we need, and we find ourselves in this region at the very tail end of it for the next 100 miles or so. That from my point here all the way until the delta spills into the Gulf of Santa Clarita, really.
Hmm. And it seems like the Kokopah Museum and Cultural Center, they just do such great work to preserve the Kokopah culture and to share it with others. And you'd mentioned that there's a very exciting renovation going on.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're built. Yes, yeah, all kinds of seeing how our environmental protection office has been very busy protecting what could have just been with neglect and would have disappeared. We could say that, well, we don't have those anymore on our land. We want it to be on our land. We want all these plants, trees to be back on our land. And that we can utilize and to say, this is ours and this is what we used to have and this is what it used to look like. And when you saw the desert before, it's just desert. And then when you hit the river, it's just trees and trees and trees and trees. You saw what the river brought. It's like a jungle, a strip of jungle that the water brought. If you
Yeah,
can imagine.
yeah, it's really amazing. And unfortunately, we only have 1 minute left on the Zoom. But thank you so much for this interview. You just added this really incredible perspective to my article about the cocoa pot culture. So, anything else you want to say for
Well,
this podcast?
well, thank you for asking, coming to us, and hopefully this is not just an article, but a message that water is important to all of us, not just to the cocoa plants, but for everyone, and that we need to remain the watchers and the protectors of our environment, because the more we take from it, we have to also give back, and we can't just keep taking and taking and think that it's going to give forever. But we also have to give back and try to replenish what we can and what we have now, and more than ever. You know, things are changing on a daily basis, and opportunists and all of that are, trying to drain everything. But we're trying to regrow. We're trying to refill, regrow, and bring it back to the state that it needs to
Yeah,
be.
I think that's just such an important message from this interview. So, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, and it was very nice to meet you.
I'll say